Welcome to the question of the day. Today's question is from Mike in North Carolina, and he asks, I see some companies have a brag book. Should we have a brag book? And if so, what should go into it? Great question. I work with a lot of companies that have a brag book, and I work with a lot of companies that don't have a brag book. I don't know if the brag book itself makes or breaks the sale. I think it definitely adds, but if you misuse it, it could also take away. So I think it's more in how you use it. But yes, I think it could be a good thing if you use it right. So the one thing you should be doing throughout the entire call, but then kicking off your presentation with is establishing my company is awesome. And then why? And the why needs to be genuine reasons. That's what takes it from good to great. If I'm just establishing marketing materials as to why my company's awesome, they've already seen that. They saw that on the commercial, they saw it on the side of the truck, they saw it in the brochure I gave them. But my reasons have to be more genuine, things you don't see in the commercial, things that aren't plastered on the side of the truck. I have to establish a genuine reason why my company is awesome. I'll give you an example. When I started, I had I got hired by a company. I got hired by an individual, and before I even started, he sent me a box. I got this box in the mail, and this box had things in it. It had like uniforms. It had mugs. I love mugs. I love free mugs. It had something for my wife in it. But most importantly, it had a handwritten card. Who writes handwritten cards anymore? But this had a handwritten card, and it was from my future boss. And my future boss went on to say, one, just how excited they were for me to be joining the company and all the great things that we were going to do together. And as I'm reading that and looking at all this stuff, my wife, she's kind of peering over my shoulder, looking at the stuff and reading it. And she looks at me and she says, don't screw this up. And I think about that every single day. Don't screw this up. And the thing is, I don't. I don't screw it up. But I'm happy because my wife is happy. And when I'm happy, my customers are happy. And so it's just a win, win, win. I tell that exact story to customers as I'm presenting, right? That's something you don't see in the marketing materials. That's something that when you hear that story, you go, man, that company's awesome. And everybody wants to do business with an awesome company. A lot of people want to work for an awesome company, right? So that's one example. That's my example, right? Another example. I'll share another example from a company, and I'm not paid by this company, but Chewy. Chewy that sells pet supplies, pet food, pet toys, pet supplies. So Chewy, you see their commercials all over. I'll tell you what you don't see in their commercials. We utilize Chewy to get dog food shipped to our house. And we had a dog. She was 15 years old. She was my wife and I's fur child. Before we had kids, we had our dog, and we loved her dearly. And at 15 years old, she quickly took a decline and passed. And we were tore up about it. Like this really tore us up. And afterwards, we had two bags of dog food. One was opened and one wasn't yet. And my wife called asking if we could return the dog food. And what Chewy told us to do was they refunded us for both bags of dog food, even the open one. And they said, don't worry about sending them back. Donate it to a shelter, donate it to somebody else. So they refunded us the money and donated. But then they didn't even tell us this was happening. But then a few days later, we get flowers and a message and a memorial for our dog. And and it was such a wonderful sentiment from a company. Here they were eating the cost, paying it forward to someone else, but then they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to take the time to send us that, but they did. And it made us lifelong customers, right? I not only am always going to go through Chewy going forward, hell, I want to work for Chewy. Like what a great company. But that's something you don't see in their commercials. You don't see them advertise that. These are the kinds of examples that you need to tie in throughout your sales process, but especially when you're kicking off your presentation. My company is awesome, and then something genuine that you don't see in a commercial. Now, a brag book could be a collection of stories like that, information like that. It could be great information like that. But it's on you, the salesperson, to bring that to life. Now, what I don't want to do with a brag book, I don't want to sit there and go page by page. I don't want to read the whole thing to them. Nobody wants that. If there's some downtime in my call, I can give them the brag book. They can flip through it. But I do want to have one thing in that brag book that I bring to life to establish that my company is awesome. I saw the most wonderful example of this not far from you here in the Carolinas. There was a salesperson that I rode along with, and they had a brag book, and he didn't read it page by page. But what he did was at the beginning of his presentation, when he said, "My company's awesome, let me tell you why," he flipped to one particular page, and there was one picture. And this picture was of an air conditioner at night because it was dark outside. You can see there was lights lighting up the side of the house where they were working. And there was a bunch of technicians there, right? So not just one or two, there was like 6 or 8 of them. And he told the story of, we do 1-day installs, right? And we want to get you cooled as fast as possible. Now, this job right here in the picture, this job went sideways. And it was looking like it wasn't going to get done that day. So the installers from all the other jobs, as they finished up their jobs, they converged on this house so that everybody could team together and get this customer cooling, because it was hot out that day, and get them cooling in that 1-day install like we said we would. Now, the one thing you don't see in this picture, the one thing you don't see is you don't see the guy behind the camera, the guy taking the picture. That's the owner. The owner was out here until 8 o'clock that night installing this with us to make sure that it got done right, done on time, done safely, done efficiently, etc. That's how he used his brag book to establish my company is awesome. Didn't read the whole thing, focused on one picture, one genuine, unique story. And when you hear that, you go, man, that company's awesome. I want to do business with a company that's awesome. So that's how you bring the brag book to life. That's how it could benefit you. So pick out one piece, genuine, my company is awesome, and that's how you kick off your presentation. Now, you didn't say this in your question. Some companies also use a brag book as like a pricing book, and they do like standardized pricing. That could be great as well. I don't want to address that here, but if that was what you meant by the question there, jump on a call with me. Let's talk specifically, because this would be unique to your business and your pricing model and how you'd want to do that. But some companies also use it for that as well. They go from the brag book right into the pricing book, but we can talk about that at a later time. But that's how I would use the brag book. One thing, one genuine, my company is awesome, and that's what you kick your presentation off with. That's today's question of the day. If you're enjoying the question of the day, follow, share, and give a rating. It's on major streaming platforms. If you have a question, reach out to me either on social media or email. Both are going to be listed below and in the show description. Let's get your questions answered. And if you're a Nexstar member, schedule a call with me and we can address this one-on-one. Get very specific to your situation. I'm Coach Chris. We will see you tomorrow.